This is some massive breaking news in the transfer market. It looks like Julián Álvarez is leaving Man City, sadly, to join Atletico Madrid for a fee of above £64 million, closer to 80 with add-ons as well. And it's a huge transfer because he's been a fundamental part of Guardiola's successful last couple of years, historic last couple of years. And it's a massive moment for the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool, other Premier League title contenders, because it's another key part of the City squad that's being taken away that could also be joined with the likes of Ederson and even Kevin De Bruyne. So it's a huge moment, and it's really down to Man City. If Man City are going to replace Julián Álvarez, who they replace him with, and if that affects the City squad. We'll break down what the transfer means to Man City, and obviously any big replacements that I've already thought about that I think could feasibly come in and the club could look at, I think should be looking at, in my opinion. But we have to start off with who Julián Álvarez is. I think no matter how much of a bit part player you are, whether you're a sub, whether you're a starter, he's not Erling Haaland, but he was a massive fundamental part of a side that went on to win the second ever treble in English football history. He is on some level a City legend. Now, he doesn't have the iconic moments in the same way that Aguero had, or even Yaya Toure, for example. I don't think he's a world-class player in the same way of those players, but the way Julián Álvarez came to City as a young 21-year-old, I think it was, from River Plate, £14 million. No one had really heard too much about him, and as soon as he came into the side, this guy is such a hard worker. He's a very, very good finisher, good pace, flexible as well. Could play at points. He played off of Haaland, and at points played by himself as well. And I think that's maybe the issue for his time at City. I know it's on a personal level. He probably wants to go to Spain for more of a kind of climate, a hotter climate, but also as the kind of composition of the squad, you look at it and you think very, very similar player to Erling Haaland. If Erling Haaland's fit all season, I think his game time probably reduces from that of last season, where it was kind of down from his first season in the treble-winning campaign for Man City as well. The goals, I think, go right under the radar. He scored a goal in the first goal in the Club World Cup, Man City's first appearance in the Club World Cup against Fluminense. Scored a goal in the historic win against Real Madrid in the Champions League semi-final. Historic in the sense of, how much of a drubbing it was for Man City to do that and then go on to win the Champions League, of course. A huge goal. I don't know if you remember it, against Fulham. Craven Cottage, again, chasing the Premier League with Arsenal breathing down Man City's necks. Huge goal from 25 yards out into the top left corner at Craven Cottage. It was an unbelievable strike. So he's almost had you can have his fingerprints have been all over the success of Man City in the last couple of years. So he leaves with his head held high. Obviously won the World Cup as well on a personal level. He was absolutely incredible in that tournament as well, which came in the middle of the season that City won the treble. So this guy's won almost everything you could win within the last couple of years, even going for Olympic gold with Argentina as well. So this guy is such a good character, good energy, works hard, very talented. I would question if he's world class. I don't know if he's ever going to get to that level of being world class. That's not me being bitter because he's leaving. I think he's a top level Premier League striker, if that makes sense. When he goes to Atletico Madrid, if that 100% materializes, he'll be one of the best strikers in that league. I don't think he's one of the best strikers in the world. I don't think he's Haaland. I don't think he's Kane or Mbappe yet. Maybe Simeone sees something a little bit different to Guardiola, and that would make a lot of sense. He's a fantastic manager, and Atletico Madrid look dangerous this season. 36 goals, 18 assists in 103 games. And I was saying this to a couple of the lads. It's like, I think Álvarez for Man City, for Guardiola, looks a little bit too similar to Haaland, and I think he looks a little bit too similar to Gabi Jesus' numbers as well. My honest opinion, I think Álvarez is a very similar player to Gabi Jesus in many ways. I think he's a better natural finisher. He's more of a poacher. Of course, if you look at the goal against Fluminense, I mean, he chests it in off of a Nathan Ake shot that hit the post. So he's a very natural finisher. Kevin Phillips-esque, dare I say, Michael Chopra-esque. But anyway, I think he'll be fantastic for Atletico Madrid. I think he's at that level. I don't think he's a Real Madrid player. I don't think he's a Man City player in the same way he starts. He's not really challenging Haaland. If both are fit, you never drop Haaland in a million years. So that's the big question mark. We have to talk about who comes in to replace Julián Álvarez, because if this isn't made right, if this gap in the squad, where, let's be real, a lot of goals, 36 goals, 18 assists, those goals have to be made up somewhere. Obviously, Savino has come in from Troy. Obviously, played for Girona last season. Did very, very well. Got them into the Champions League. He's more of a winger. Obviously, came out a couple of weeks ago when he signed for the club, saying that Riyad Mahrez is his favourite player and kind of his icon. He's taken Riyad Mahrez's number. So don't assume Savino is that light-for-light replacement for Julián Álvarez. I think City need to go out there and strengthen, because if Haaland has the kind of form that he had last season, still the kind of form where he's the top scorer in the Premier League, but there's a couple of months in the season where he's a little bit rough, missed a few big chances, particularly in those big games, particularly against Real Madrid where he's completely ineffective against Rudiger, games against Arsenal he looked a little bit off, games against maybe Liverpool and a few others where the bigger games he didn't really have the impact. Also had 2 months off with injury as well. So you can't criticise Erling Haaland ever, because if you're the highest scorer in the Premier League in back-to-back seasons and you're under the age of 25 and you win 2 Premier Leagues and a treble, that's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But I think you do need a little bit of competition in every single squad. City used to have Dzeko, Aguero, Tevez all in the same squad with Balotelli as well. And you're not going to have 4 strikers in the modern day with the way it goes, but having a second striker is massively important. I think Arsenal firstly missed a trick. If they were able to get someone like Julián Álvarez, I think he really missed a trick. He's the one player that I think could have come into Arsenal and really made an instant difference. Obviously someone else like Ivan Toney I've talked about as well, Victor Osimhen, but those two seem unlikely / too expensive. If Atletico Madrid have come in and maybe outbid Arsenal or shown more interest, then I think that's a bit of an oversight from Arsenal, because I think Man City would have sold at this kind of price to anyone. It's pure profit. I think football fans sometimes talk a little bit too much about profit, and we all become accountants. But in this day and age where profit is so highly scrutinised, I think you have to look at buying someone for 14 million quid. He scores a load of goals, big goals, creates momentum in the squad where you win a treble, the first Champions League in the club's history, then goes out for pure profit, which is close to £50 million profit. It is exceptional business from City, whether you like it or not. Let's be completely real. So it's unbelievable business, and it's great for City. But City have to look to bring someone in of a quality caliber, even if they're super young and exciting, because you've got nothing to lose. With Erling Haaland, you're guaranteed goals. He's looked unbelievable in pre-season. I dare say he looks a little bit leaner as well. So I think he's looking to maybe shake off certain injuries where maybe he's a little bit heavy on, heavy touch, heavy running. Maybe he's lost a little bit of weight to be a little bit quicker going into next season. So he looks dangerous. So why not go for a young striker? Why not go for someone that has high potential? That could be a way City go. I think Arsenal and Liverpool, and those are the two sides that I think could challenge City next season for the Premier League. I'm probably praying that City don't do a replacement and maybe are a little bit thin on the ground. Or I'm maybe praying that if City do make a transfer, it's closer to the kind of Mateus Nunes deal or the Kovacic deal that on some level took City backwards a little bit, or made City plateau just a little bit to stop City going on to win maybe another Champions League. I think Arsenal in particular will be hoping that those margins between the two clubs can be minimised, and City don't go out and get Ivan Toney as an example. And I think Ivan Toney is the one that would be the ideal replacement, because I think you could get him for £70 million. I think there's a real lack of interest from major clubs for him. I don't get why. I don't think Chelsea can get him. I don't think Spurs necessarily are a big pull or could afford him. Arsenal should be going at him, in my opinion. I don't know where the interest is with that. Why not? He's played unbelievable against Guardiola. I know Guardiola loves these kind of players that maybe perform against him. He's sort of seen up close. His first touch fits the City style. His link-up play, he can drop deep. He's obviously very powerful. The composition of the striker makes a lot of sense as well. The English quota makes sense. He knows a lot of the England lads, of course, from the summer tournament. And then you have to look at it and think, Haaland is a big, powerful finisher, but Ivan Toney brings people into play, so you can mix and match the two. You could even play them both together and play a back three as well. So that'd be very, very exciting as a City fan, see someone like Ivan Toney come through the door. So very keen to see what you think in the comments down below. But it is a sad day because as a City fan, Alvarez has brought me some unbelievable moments, and he brings this kind of optimism and youthful energy to the squad. And you can't go out and sign someone like Julián Álvarez every day. He's a born winner. He makes players around him work hard. He's got a great work ethic. He's a humble player, plays with a smile on his face. Not many footballers do that these days. This kind of pressure that surrounds modern football Julián Álvarez kind of plays as if he's still playing in the playground, and I think it's gonna be it's a sad moment really, because he's a fantastic player and he's brought unbelievable, unparalleled success to Man City. So yeah, obviously you got to hope him, wish him the best. He'll be a fantastic player for Simeone. Simeone will love his work rate. Him and Conor Gallagher at Atletico Madrid, they look like a decent force going into the Spanish season as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you very, very soon.